This is ABC.
Hello, I'm Jim Gardner from Action News. Homicide investigators now have a theory in the murder of a pregnant woman and her boyfriend in Southwest Philadelphia. Louis Farakhan speaks to a packed house at the Philadelphia Civic Center. Tonight, Brennan Odom reports on how he is changing his message. And lawmen say this man posed as a police officer to rape a woman. Tonight, how women can protect themselves from this kind of crime. And the shuttle Discovery blasts into space with its high-tech cargo. Those stories, Philly's highlights, and Von Hayes hits a milestone, and the Accuweather forecast. Next on Action News Tonight.
At a time when you need every little edge, your Oldsmobile dealer gives you all the edge you need. Introducing alternate transportation. When you leave your car off for warranty service, Oldsmobile doesn't leave you. Your Olds dealer will help you get where you're going and pick up the cost. Catch a taxi, hop on our shuttle, or take a loaner for as long as you need it. Alternate transportation. It's one more reason why Oldsmobile is your key to quality cars and better dealer service.
It's not that I don't love it here, it's just that sometimes I miss home.
You know, home. Crabapple trees, dogwoods. The way pine trees smell after it rains. Home.
Hello. What time do you open tomorrow?
Just what did you have in mind?
Just a big tree. No. Is the bird there?
Of course.
His name's Pete.
Guys, I don't have an elevator, but it's only 6 floors.
Chris.
Well, welcome home.
You've got the option, the Optima card, for American Express card members.
She waited till she was over 40 to get married. She's glad she did. Tomorrow at 10.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Don Tolleson, Dave Roberts, and Jim Gardner.
Tuesday night, a gunman goes on a wild shooting rampage at a shopping mall in Atlanta. And America's junk bond king has his day in court. But the big story on Action News Tonight is the investigation into a double murder today in Southwest Philadelphia. And tonight, lawmen theorize this might have been a drug-related assassination. The story from Action News reporter Dan Quayle.
Residents hardly knew them, and now mysteriously, the young Jamaicans are dead. A 29-year-old man and his 16-year-old girlfriend said to be 6 months pregnant. The quiet of the Southwest Philadelphia neighborhood was shattered when a woman identified as the man's mother was seen running around the house at 2222 56th Street, screaming.
And she just kept saying, 2222, call the cops. They killed my son. They killed my son. And I just called the cops. I don't know the people over there. I don't know who they were.
The mother had tried unsuccessfully to break into the house after not hearing from the victims for several days. She suspected something wrong, and police confirmed her fears.
Uniformed officers gained entry, and we found 2 bodies in the rear bedroom. That would be one male and one female. Both appear to have been killed from gunshot wounds.
Both victims had been shot numerous times. A gun was found nearby, and the house had been ransacked. Police found drug paraphernalia inside and suspect the deaths may be drug-related.
Residents say the couple moved into this neighborhood in late October and pretty much stayed to themselves. Nobody heard gunshots or any sign of trouble.
We have learned tonight that a car with New York license plates was recently seen by residents at the house, which had not been seen there before. A friend who says she tried to page the couple on their beeper was unable to reach them over the weekend. She says if they were involved in drugs, she didn't know about it.
That guy was a very kind guy, very kind. Very kind.
And his girlfriend?
I never hear nobody have no problem.
So far, police have no suspects and few leads in the case. I'm Dan Quayle, Channel 6 Action News, Southwest Philadelphia.
Tonight, officials in Atlanta say the man charged with a deadly shopping mall shooting spree today had just been released from a mental institution yesterday. The man, wearing a business suit, pulled out a handgun late this morning and opened fire at people in the mall's food court. 1 person was killed, 4 others wounded, before the gunman threw his weapon in a trash bin and calmly surrendered to police. Witnesses told police the 31-year-old James Brady was smiling as he casually aimed at his victims. A Bucks County judge has ordered that John DiGregorio be held over for trial without bail. DeGregorio is charged with beating his daughter Carol to death on Easter Sunday and then dismembering the body and boiling parts of it on the stove of their Ben Salem apartment. During today's hearing, police testified that DeGregorio confessed to the crime. He will be arraigned on the 1st of June. Former Camden County prosecutor Samuel Asbell will enter a pretrial intervention program in efforts to avoid a potential 18-month jail term. Asbell, minus his trademark mustache, pled guilty today to Trenton to charges that he fired shots into his own car and then made up a story about being attacked by gun-toting drug dealers on New Year's Day. A city councilman says reports of racial tension in Philadelphia's Grays Ferry section have been blown out of proportion. Francis Rafferty today blamed the news media for creating tensions. 3 black men were stabbed over the weekend in confrontations with whites over the Lanier Playground near 30th and Tasker. Rafferty dismissed trouble as nothing more than a dispute among kids.
Okay, they're kids. It's been like that for years. Kids are going to fight. You see men out there fighting one another? You see married men fighting one another? You don't see that down there.
Rafferty also disputed claims of some black residents that the playground gate facing the Tasker Homes project is always locked. Today, the City Recreation Department told Action News that its policy is not to discriminate against any group, but would investigate the complaint. Controversial Nation of Islam leader Louis Farakhan says he has an important message for the black community, a message delivered to a sold-out crowd tonight at a Philadelphia Civic Center. Farakhan says it is time to stop the killing, and he is urging his followers to end the cycle of drug abuse and violence that he says is destroying the black community.
Well, when you love somebody, you can't hurt them. When you love somebody, you can't steal from them. You can't rob them. You can't beat them. You can't rape them. You can't shoot them. You can only live for what you love and die for what you love.
Farakhan is on a nationwide tour, and tonight Brennan reports on how he is trying to bring his message into the mainstream.
Minister Farakhan's been packing them in coast to coast this spring. At least 15,000 tickets were sold for tonight's appearance in Philadelphia. His traditional black nationalist message, a gospel of anti-crime, anti-drug, pro-self-esteem and self-reliance, is drawing more and more of the black middle class.
I've heard other people tell me what he has said. I've heard the news media tell me what he has said, and I think it's my obligation to at least come for myself to see exactly what he has said from my own interpretation.
A lot of people, especially going through a lot of transitions of time, now begin to realize that a lot of the things that Minister Farakhan is saying applies directly to them, no matter what their station in life is.
Staples like the Fruit of Islam security squad are still part of the scene, but Farakhan's total production has gone showbiz glitzy. Closed-circuit TV, notables on stage from Reverend Al Sharpton to Tawana Brawley to rap music star Chuck D.
If we all do the right thing, it won't be a terror zone. We do the wrong thing, that's what it will be. So let's do the right thing.
Before Farakhan speaks, there's nearly 1 hour of high-powered fundraising.
Black people are going to keep it waiting. Now, the army time is waiting for them all. But we are going to maximum leadership, is that right?
Farakhan is steadily marching towards the mainstream these days, trying to moderate his image. The only question is how much he'll shift to broaden his appeal. Vernon Odom, Channel 6 Action News in West Philadelphia.
The United States Supreme Court ruled today that condemned murderers who say they want to die may waive their right to appeal the death sentence. The court decision clears the way for the state of Arkansas to execute a man who says he wants to die for his crimes, even though the death sentence has not been reviewed by any appellate court. Of course, the decision could affect the case of Philadelphia's Gary Heidnik, who has said he wants to be executed for torturing and killing women in his North Philadelphia home. Tonight, we spoke with Heidnik's attorney, A. Charles Perudo, Jr.
My client wants to die, therefore that's his wishes, and I'm only his mouthpiece. If that's what he wants, that's what he'll get. In this particular case, we'll be refiling in accordance with this new provision.
More than a year ago, Heidnik failed in efforts to take his own life with a drug overdose in his death row cell outside Pittsburgh. Tonight, the hunt is on for a man who has been posing as a police officer to prey on innocent women. Here is Crime Fighters with Rob Jennings.
The date, March 28th, the scene, Upper Marion Township. The crime, kidnapping, and rape. Police are hoping you can identify this man. He owns or has access to a dark-colored Jeep Cherokee with a tan cloth interior. Around midnight that Wednesday, the suspect stopped a car driven by a Virginia woman here on Goddard Boulevard behind the King of Prussia Plaza. Although he was not in uniform, the man flashed a badge and identified himself as a police officer and ordered the woman to get into the back seat of his Cherokee.
He threatened that he would kill her if she didn't cooperate.
Lieutenant Ron Fonick says the suspect then blindfolded his victim and drove for 20 or 30 minutes on a highway, then up a gravel driveway to an old white stucco motel, which police have not been able to identify.
Once inside the room for the next hour and a half, he raped her and then got her redressed, put her back in the vehicle, made her lay down, and drove her back to her vehicle in King of Prussia, where he released her.
This crime has understandably shaken up a lot of women who drive alone, particularly at night. Upper Marion Police Chief Clem Riedel says that in most cases, an unmarked police car will be driven by a uniformed officer. But in the slight chance that he is not in uniform, you do not have to open your car door and get out, or even roll your window down completely.
You can roll your window down far enough to communicate with the officer and ask him if perhaps that he may be able to call a uniformed or a marked patrol unit to come join you at that location, or even ask the officer to be willing to proceed maybe a few short blocks or half a mile to a service station or a store that might be open all night where there are a lot of other people around.
This is a sketch of the suspect. He's believed to be in his mid to late 30s, around 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, with dark brown hair and acne scars. He was driving a 1988 dark blue or black Jeep Cherokee like this one with a tan cloth interior. If you recognize the suspect, call the Citizens Crime Commission now with your tip. 215-546-TIPS. You'll be paid a cash reward if your call leads to an arrest. Rob Jennings, Channel 6 Action News.
Still to come on Action News tonight, the team with the best record in the National League takes on the Fighting Phils at Veterans Stadium. Don Tollefson has that story. Robert Goulet comes to the Delaware Valley in a Broadway show that he helped make famous.
What simple folks do, so they say.
Those stories, the latest on the condition of Elizabeth Taylor. Plus Dave Roberts with a late word from Accuweather when Action News continues tonight.
If you're considering an Accord or Camry, consider Car and Driver magazine's report on the Mitsubishi Galant after a special 30,000-mile test. They called it an ideal car for a deep and meaningful long-term relationship, adding that over 30,000 miles, not a single thing went wrong with the Galant. That's right, nothing. Nothing went wrong. How many long-term relationships can you say that about?
You could save up to $1,000 at your three-state Mitsubishi Motors dealer now.
Jimmy, did you know your daddy is planning for your future? He just bought a Toro GTS lawnmower with a 5-year starting guarantee. For 5 years, it'll start in the first or second pull, or Toro will fix it free. So your daddy knows it'll be around a long time, which means someday you might be using it to mow the lawn.
Save up to $80 on a new Toro at these Toro dealers.
What's better than free unlimited mileage? Free unlimited mileage from Hertz. On every kind of car we rent at more locations than anyone else. So feel free in America. Hertz, the biggest name in rental cars, is now the name in free unlimited mileage. Call for a new low rate.
The 1990 Dodge Spirit. Popular mechanics have called the Spirit ES the best American car in this class. When you compare it to the competition, Spirit has the longest powertrain warranty, most rear seat legroom, and the lowest price, making Dodge Spirit the best car in its class. And with $1,000 cash back, a great value now gets even better. Hurry, get your Dodge Spirit as low as $94.95 now.
President Bush says that for now, he will not impose sanctions against the Soviet Union for its actions against Lithuania. At the White House today, the president told reporters he won't punish Moscow for the economic blockade. He says any action could reverse the progress that has been made toward democracy in the Soviet bloc. But Lithuania disagrees. President Vytautas Landsbergis says the United States is turning its back on his country. White House Press Secretary Marlin Fitzwater says there are, in his words, encouraging rumblings tonight about another hostage release. Fitzwater won't give details, safe to say that something might be happening. Meanwhile, a report in a Beirut newspaper says pro-Iranian kidnappers will not free any more U.S. hostages until Israel releases its Arab prisoners. Doctors examining Robert Polhill says the former hostage is in good shape considering his 39-month ordeal. Polhill was reunited with his two sons from his first marriage today at the U.S. Air Force Base in Wiesbaden, North Germany. He was also debriefed by authorities. One official says Polhill's information may help pinpoint where other American hostages are being held. Doctors in Santa Monica, California say Liz Taylor is in serious but stable condition tonight. They say she is not on her deathbed. The actress is in the intensive care unit of St. John's Hospital suffering from pneumonia. She is still on a ventilator. The results of her lung biopsy have not yet been released. Half of all smokers are likely to light up indoors without asking if anybody minds. That according to a new study from the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta. The research also shows that non-smokers are reluctant to ask smokers to refrain. Researchers confirm that there is a decrease in the number of U.S. smokers, but the bottom line, they say, is that non-smokers continue to suffer in silence.
Dan and Linda lived next door to Ray. They were friends for years until one day they found out that their neighbor Ray was involved with their 18-year-old daughter.
And I thought that she was more insane than I ever dared to be because she couldn't seem to understand that if this had been a stranger, it would have been easier on me.
Your best friend married your daughter on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Watch the Oprah Winfrey Show tomorrow at 4.
What's more powerful than the Honda Civic? With more legroom than the Toyota Tercel. With more passenger space than the Nissan Sentra Coupe. And more trunk space than the Hyundai Excel 2-door. The Volkswagen Fox. And at just $75.45, the Fox comes with one thing none of the other cars could possibly have. The satisfying driving experience known as Farakhan. It's what makes a car a Volkswagen.
Right now, financing with no down payment on 1990 Volkswagen. See dealer for details.
Tonight we have very special treats from our chef. To start, our field salad of Malibu weed, arugula and radicchio with sun-dried tomatoes under a fresh balsamic vinegar and extra virgin olive oil. For your fresh black and homemade pasta with grilled quail and crispy leek in a cassis.
The extravagant tastes of the 80s are out. In fact, for the price of a few dinners in the 80s, you can practically buy an entire dining room for the 90s. IKEA. It's a big country. Someone's got to furnish it.
Jane Laporte has a big job. She's in charge of recycling for the Waste Management Company, and she has some strong feelings on the subject. She recycles at home. She recycles at work. She buys things made of recycled material. Now, since she works managing the day-to-day operations of the world's largest recycling organization, you might think Jane feels this way because of the job she has. But actually, she has the job because of the way she feels.
A guilty plea today from one of Wall Street's most notorious figures, Michael Milken. The junk bond king pleaded guilty to 6 felony counts in a New York courtroom today. Most of the charges included violation of federal securities law. Milken broke down in tears as he read a statement apologizing for his actions. He has agreed to pay $200 million in penalties to the government, another $400 million to defrauded investors. Sentencing is set for the 1st of October. Phillies continue to impress. Here is sports director Don Pollard.
Just playing good, solid baseball, and it is fun to watch them. Phils were taking on the team with the best record in all of baseball, but tonight it was the Phillies doing just about everything right. They took the Reds by a final of 6-3. First inning action, big night tonight for John Kruk. Phils would score 2 in the first, 1 on Kruk's double. He would have 3 RBIs tonight. Good pitching tonight from Kenny Howe. He had 5 strikeouts while scattering 6 hits over 6 innings. Howe was sharp. Footnote to tonight's game, Von Hayes right here would get his 1,000th career hit. Phillies had a total of 15 hits tonight as they really went after Cincinnati pitching. One of those 15 hits later on another mighty blow from Kruk. This one will go out of the ballpark, and the Phils once again go on to win it by a final of 6-3 with that 15-hit attack. On the mound after Kenny Howe did the job, Jeff Howard, and then Roger McDowell here would close it out. Kenny Howe says he was really happy to win, even though he didn't have his best stuff.
I think it does start to tell you as a pitcher that you're turning into a pitcher, and you're not just a thrower out there, that on the days you don't have your good stuff, you can still go out there and command the ball game, and especially when you're only giving up 2 runs in a game, and I think that's a good job. And all you really want to do is keep your team in the game so they have a chance to strike back.
Good job, Kenny Howe. On the scoreboard, the Mets win, the Expos are winning. Padres and the Cubs just underway. We have highlights tonight from the Astrodome, that Montreal-Houston game you saw on the scoreboard. Once again, Tim Raines and the Expos are beating Houston. It is now 4-1 Expos. This game is in the 7th inning. Right here, Montreal gets a homer from Tim Wallach. The Phillies, Pirates, and Expos are all bunched these days at the top of the National League East. Expos winning down in the Dome. How about the American League? The Yankees have won, Boston has won, Oakland has won. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight in Los Angeles and St. Louis. They are just underway out in California. Kings need a win to extend that series to a 5th game, but trail Edmonton 1-0. Wayne Gretzky not playing due to his bad back. This is seen in St. Louis. It got testy early on. Chicago and the Blues right now. Chicago trying to even this series at 2 games apiece. And right now, the Blackhawks, after the physical stuff stopped, are up 3-1. That game now in the 3rd period. Chicago 3, St. Louis 1. 2 days and counting until the Sixers begin the playoffs, hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. And when they do on Thursday night, the Sixers will be looking for that quick start, which is always such a key in the first game of a playoff series, especially when it is a best-of-5 and not a best-of-7. Charles Barkley has a scouting report tonight on the Cleveland Cavaliers coming up.
Well, they're a big team. Doherty is one of the best hitters in the league. John Williams, the best 6th man in the league. Larry Nash, one of the best shot blockers in the league. Also, they have 3 great outside shooters, Steve Kerr, Craig Elo, and Mark Price. So I think the 2 big keys will be Brad Doherty and Mark Price. We've got to contain those 2.
Yeah, Sixers want to play with controlled emotion. That is the key phrase right now, Jim.
All right, Tom. Okay. If all goes as planned, the $1.5 billion Hubble telescope will be deployed into space by tomorrow afternoon. Discovery rocketed into orbit from Cape Canaveral this morning. Later in the day, astronauts opened the cargo bay to inspect the telescope and the mechanical arm that will deploy the revolutionary telescope into space.
Okay, you move around pretty.
At a time when you need every little edge, your Oldsmobile dealer gives you all the edge you need. Introducing alternate transportation. When you leave your car off for warranty service, Oldsmobile doesn't leave you. Your Olds dealer will help you get where you're going and pick up the cost. Catch a taxi, hop on our shuttle, or take a loaner for as long as you need it. Alternate transportation. It's one more reason why Oldsmobile is your key to quality cars and better dealer service.
Brace yourself for the new Franklin Institute. Fast forward into the Future Center, a new museum where you can see, touch, hear, hold, and play in the 21st century. Then, buckle up for new Omniverse movies. Just feel that 4-story screen wrap around you. Whoa! The new Franklin Institute with new evening hours. Call 9-Future and come.
What if, instead of really cleaning all the things that got dirty, you simply vacuum them? Absurd. You would never do that, right? Except when it comes to your carpet. Vacuuming may make carpets look clean, but Bissell's unique deep cleansing action gets dirt that a vacuum never will. The compact, easy-to-use Bissell's Deep Cleaner, the best way to get the most out of your carpet.
Right now, Nissan Sentras and hard-body trucks come with green trim because cash back is back directly to you from Nissan. $1,000 cash back on the fun and reliable Sentra Standard. $1,200 on the rugged Standard hard-body 4x2 truck. But hurry, because cash back won't be back for long.
Honors tonight for 125 Catholic high school students at the Art Museum in Philadelphia These students worked hard to be among the best of their classmates, and Archbishop Anthony Bevilacqua presented their certificates during the annual academic honors convocation. Proud parents looking on tonight. The students are the top 1.5% of all seniors graduating from archdiocesan high schools this year. Dave Barber can Accuweather forecast. David?
A gorgeous forecast. I'm ready. A gorgeous day throughout the entire Delaware. I did it by Peter Sellers. That was my Peter Sellers imitation.
Why would you want to do something like that?
It's 5 days forecast. Here we go now. Bikers were out tonight. A gorgeous day tonight, a gorgeous evening throughout the Delaware Valley. And the bikers were out. There they were, because tomorrow is Clean Motion Commute Day in the Delaware Valley. That means awards are going to be given to companies whose employees either carpool, took public transit, walk to work, or bike. It's sponsored by the Southeast Pennsylvania Energy Center, Environmental Action, and the Clean Air Council. Awards will be given out at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on the second floor of Old City Hall. The bottom line, to get employers to urge their employees to get to work in as few vehicles as possible. So I'm going to be walking to work tomorrow, and Jim and Collie will be behind me. A high-pressure system down here in South Carolina and Georgia. Another one up there. That frontal system that's in control will lose the top half of that. This cold front is true. It starts to make its move back toward the Delaware Valley come tomorrow as a warm front. The warmer air is on the way. We'll be a little bit warmer than our 74 of today, and then wait till you see the hot stuff that's moving in our direction. 90 degrees in St. Louis, Missouri today, 87 in Chicago, 86 up there in Marquette, Michigan, 85 International Falls, Minnesota. Some of that precipitation. These storm centers here just kind of stay in that position. The heavy thunderstorm activity throughout portions of Oklahoma on into Texas and in Arizona. Hot weather, yes, but in some sections, look at the surprise today. Arizona. Look at the surprise. There it is. They had some snow. Flagstaff picked up a couple of inches of snow. Did you believe that today? You know, it's this fluffy kind where it comes down and you have to take it off in the windshield and, of course, get out and shovel or walk. And it's terrible to walk in if you have a hole in your sole, and then you got to shovel it. And that's in Flagstaff, Arizona today. All of that stuff stays out there. Our concern is that high-pressure system down there that's anchored is going to continue to bring warm and more humid air to the Delaware Valley. Here's the call from Accuweather for this evening. We'll take another pair of fives in the Pocono, pair of fives in Allentown. 49 degrees, that was our low. 74 was the high. It's going to be warmer than that come tomorrow. 11 o'clock, we can report these numbers. Present temperature is 32. Relative humidity, 74%. The barometer is 30.16. It's on the right. Southeasterly winds, 9 miles an hour. The water temperature is 55. In the northeast, 5253 outside the station, 55 to Center City, 52 at the airport, and Camden 54. The exclusive Accuweather 5-day forecast goes as such. Few clouds, 45 to 50. Some sun in the morning. We start out at 53. Going to get up to 80 degrees. A mix of sun and clouds could be very nice. Could have a little spritz tomorrow afternoon. Don't be concerned about it. Sunny and warm. 87. Hot in the sunny. 90 degrees. 90 degrees hot and sunny on Saturday. 85 degrees partly sunny. Summer-like weather is on the way. A beautiful day tomorrow as the 5-day forecast indicates.
All right, David. Better late than never. Finally, in Devon tonight, it was truly a return to Camelot for 57-year-old singer and actor Robert Goulet.
What simple folks do, so they say.
Goulet opened tonight on a new production of Camelot at the Valley Forge Music Fair. And through this Sunday, Goulet will star as King Arthur in a musical account of the legendary Knights of the Round Table. 30 years ago, Goulet launched his career to rave reviews on Broadway as the brave knight Sir Lancelot. Now the good King Arthur, Goulet says he'd like to bring Camelot back to Broadway.
All right, my love, all right, my love, a coral running the sky, my love, the meadows lined with autumn vines and daffodils blossom away. What else do the people do?
Excuse me, Camelot at the Music Fair. Nightline is next on Channel 6. Action News continues at 6:30 a.m. with Monica Malpass and Dave Frankel, and at noon with Dave and Robin Garrison. Now for Dave Roberts, Don Tollefson, and the entire Action News team, I'm Jim Gardner. Have a good night tonight.
Bacon double cheeseburger. Get it while I get it. Yep. Get it, Dave. Go tomorrow. McDonald's delicious bacon double cheeseburgers are here for a limited time. Be there or be square.
good things come and go.
And McDonald's Bacon Double Cheeseburgers will be gone before you know it.
Right while the burger's hot. Yeah.
Nice move.
Come on into McDonald's today and enjoy the great new taste of a delicious bacon double cheeseburger at a special price. But hurry, they're only available for a limited time.
Exxon 93 Supreme. Precision equipment for precision engines. And it satisfies the most demanding, sophisticated engines. Exxon 93 Supreme, whose purity is so consistent and results so well proven. It's the gasoline designed for drivers who care about their engines. Exxon 93 Supreme, precision equipment for precision engines. Just turn the key.
Morning. 365 chances every year to start doing something healthy. Keep yourself in balance. And day after day, with Avion natural spring water from the French Alps. Like a new morning, it's always there for you to do something healthy.
Tom Skerritt and Patti LuPone star after night